Yep, can you see me yet?
I see your background,
Okay, just
but
my background. Oh,
yes, just your background.
because I have the camera off. Sorry,
There you are.
that's why.
No
Okay.
worries. Well, hey, thanks so much for jumping on with us this afternoon, spending some time. We will go straight into questions for you and kick things off with Bob Pockris. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Tyler, seems like a question every week now, but any progress on the leg numbing issues, and maybe what are you going to try this week?
Yeah, we've been able to figure some things out. But first off, thanks everyone for your patience. I got some stuff going on. Yeah, so I just think with this new car, there's some things different. The depth of the cockpit is a lot. It's changed a lot from the last car. And the last car for, I don't know, I mean, since I've been racing, it really stayed much the same. There was really only differences between a truck and the only thing that was different was truck. And, fortunately, I was really good and comfortable in the trucks for the year there in the VKR. But, yeah, just, making some mistakes in how I think I needed to be sitting in this car. So we've been able to, now that, we got the night I'm back home, came back from Vegas, we're able to sit in the car and adjust some things, pinpoint some areas where I think I just had my body just kind of in a bad posture, not really allowing the weight of my body in the seat being distributed the way it should. So nothing like to the extent of having to change inserts, do that sort of thing. Just moving some things around in the car seems to be better. But obviously the reason this has been an issue is pretty challenging to understand sitting still, with no load, no bumps, no heat, whatever it might be, to really feel if it's going to be a problem. It's hard to really understand what's okay and what's not because, after we were in Fontana, we had our Vegas car right there. It was, it was already in Fontana. And sat in it, moved some things around, thought I was going to be good to go at Vegas. And obviously I was looking in the wrong places. So we had some help this week. We were able to make some adjustments and continue to learn more and more about it. I just think was in a really good place in that old car for such a long time and didn't realize how easy or how bad, I could end up missing it, the comfort side of things. So just unfortunately going through that process right now, we've made it a lot better.
Is it about kind of where how the pedals are mounted and how you position your foot, or is it more kind of where the seat is in relation to pedals and maybe the height of the seat?
I think more than anything, it's just having, no matter where you put your seat, it's kind of important to have your legs one comfortable for you, but not too high, not too low. You don't want to, cut circulation off by, having your pedals too low and you're kind of hitting the end of your seat, or having your legs, really having a lot of weight or force or on the bottom of your seat or the edge of your seat, cut circulation off that way. So certainly with this deeper car or deeper, driver area cockpit, I thought having my feet up was going to be better for me, and I think just overshot that a good bit with how the ramp in my current insert was. So I made some adjustments there. Certainly, I think I've frustrated some things in my body by putting it through that the last 2 weeks in a row now. I normally don't really give myself a lot of rest time in between with exercising and everything. So just coming up with the best approach to give my body some time to get out some of the stress that I've been putting through these last 2 weekends.
Thank you.
Hey, Tyler, your audio is it's like going in and out a little bit. It's kind of echoey.
How's that?
Say something one more time.
Is that any better?
I think so. Can you say like a sentence, something a little bit longer than that? Let me see.
I can try to say a full sentence. Is that a full sentence?
I think this is definitely a little bit better. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay, we will take our next question from Rob Tiongson. Go ahead, Rob.
Thanks, guys. Hey, Tyler, I got a couple of questions for you. Now, you talked about getting better with time management in our last interview together, but I have to ask kind of sort of a serious question. How well timed was it to get that first top 10 of the year at Las Vegas, given how crazy that race was for you guys?
It was important, very important. I guess for a whole team, it was an important thing to be able to come back from that. But for me personally too, I had a lot of distractions in the car. It was kind of hard to give it my best effort with everything going on. It was kind of not really allowing me to be at 100%. So to still get a top 10 is good, but certainly still things I was fighting. I can't let it keep taking away potential good runs for our team. I do think it held me back at Vegas. Held us back at Fontana, even though we were still really good. We were able to still execute fairly well, like on pit road and everything. After going through what I did at Vegas and not always having the track position all day long, it tells me that I was leaving some on the table at Fontana too. And I felt like I was. I couldn't really run the bottom because of what I was fighting. But we still had a pretty good car there. So, it was good to get that top 10. But the biggest thing that we're focused on is making sure that the issues I'm having are in the rearview mirror. So when we get to Phoenix, that a place that requires a lot of braking, a lot of thinking about the car, and it's such a fine line balance-wise at that place. It's gonna be really important to have all this worked out. So that's what I've been really trying to do for my team, is make sure that I can be 100% of the car.
Sure. And my last question for you is kind of a silly question.
Rob, I'm so sorry. I'm going to jump in real quick. So this is advice from Marissa Tyler. She said if you put your headphones on, it might help the audio, because it didn't actually
I'm gonna try that.
get better. Yeah, go for it. Thank you. Let's see.
My AirPods did work good when they would connect. I've been having issues with that. I don't know. So sorry.
You're fine. Thanks so much for trying. It just sounds really echoey. It's pretty hard to understand you.
Yeah.
No worries on that. If I may continue with my last question, kind of a silly one, and that's from Melandis King from Business Insider. She mentioned on my podcast that her and her husband fight over this plastic cup from Cheddar's that has Austin Dillon and you on it. And the waiter apparently didn't know who you were until she pointed out it's Tyler Reddick with the red hair. So is there any chance that you can possibly end this quarrel between Atlantis and her husband?
On the pronunciation?
That's what's the pronunciation, but over the cup situation, because she says they fight over the one cup of you in their house.
Oh, of course. Yes. Well, I don't personally have any extra cups. I'm sure there's some still floating around. We just have to hunt them down, and hopefully we can get one their way to put it to rest. Yeah, that would be good.
Great, because that would make some peaceful moments for them. But thank you so much for taking the good question and silly question from me. Best of luck this weekend.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
You got it.
All right, we'll take our next question from Matt Weaver. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Tyler, thanks for taking some time this afternoon. With the audio issues, I'm not totally sure if you addressed this part of the seat question. But with you having, the fitness regimen this off season and changing your body so much, do you guys change the seat insert from year to year? And is that kind of part of the situation too?
It could be, but weight wise, I haven't moved that much. Shape wise, a little bit. In the areas that I've changed shape, I don't think it would. Well, thinking about it, off the top of my head, I don't think it's where the issue is coming from. I think it just has more to do with it's a brand new race car. There's a lot more options of where you can put the pedals in relation to the seat, and I just think that's where some of it is. Because I guess with where I end up putting my pedals for the last couple of weeks, I probably could add some. I could have added some material underneath me to help fill the gap that was there. But it's not like the insert itself doesn't fit me too bad. If anything, I feel like I fit a little bit better, like snug in it than I did. It's just a matter of those other things that we moved around unknowingly, really.
And also, I have a question about Atlanta next weekend. We've never really seen a combination like this new track layout with the super speedway rules package. What do you think we're going to see next weekend?
Ooh, I don't know. It's hard to say. This car's it's been a lot of fun. It's been very challenging to understand so far. I don't know. I think the transitioning from straightaways to corners is going to be an interesting. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I haven't even ran on it. I've only heard a little bit about it, so I really can't say. I've tried to, for the most part, go into a lot of the race weekends with not a lot of expectations, so I can be ready to adapt to anything. That's been a good approach for me, and I'm pretty much carrying that thought process, that approach into Atlanta as well.
Thanks, Tyler.
All right, our next question will come from Marty Sikla. Go ahead, Marty.
Thanks, Sam. Tyler, thanks for the time. Just also following up on the questions about the leg numbness. I'm curious if another solution you guys at the RCR camp have thought of maybe getting the blood flowing in the lower extremities before a race. I'm not a doctor, but could that possibly be a solution to that too, or not really?
For the amount of time you spend in a car, I think that could help in some sense. But I was in the car for 4 hours at Las Vegas. To a degree, you can help it some, but you're sitting in a car for a long period of time. I don't expect that to be the fix, but I think it could be something that that certainly doesn't hurt. And you don't necessarily want to get in a car for 4 hours and not be kind of stretched out and have some good blood flowing anyways. You want to be ready for the start of the race. Anything can happen. So it certainly helps, but I think there's like I've talked about, I think there's some other things that we moved around that hopefully will take care of it.
And as you enter this weekend, because this is a track where, of course, you have to use both pedals with the throttle and the brakes, is this a track where you're really concerned that the leg numbness may be happening once again, or not really with this adjustment?
Like I said a little earlier, it's really hard to tell in the shop sitting still. You can strap yourself in and you can sit there forever without a lot of movement in the car, without the car moving, without the loads. When I sat in the car after Fontana for Vegas, I thought it was going to be okay. So that does make it a little concerning. But I know that we went in the right direction. It's just hopefully we've gone enough. Hopefully we didn't go too far. It's just kind of difficult to really know if we got it right. And we had I thought we had enough time at Las Vegas to get a feel for it, but we had some pretty lengthy changes. I didn't get to stay out on the track quite long enough for that to really take into effect. Coming in and sitting for 10 minutes, and we're making some changes to the car, took away from that. So we had the opportunity with that longer practice to figure out, to get an idea if we were going to be okay or not. We just didn't take advantage of it. We're at Fontana. We didn't get to run long enough in the 15-minute practice session. or group split that we had to figure it out. So that is a cause for concern because, we could probably run that whole session straight through and we still may not know if it's okay or not for the race.
All right. Thank you, Tyler. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
Next question will come from Lee Spencer. Go ahead, Lee.
Thank you. Just kind of curious. I know the car's a work in progress, Tyler, but are you getting to a point where you're starting to know where the edge is, how far you can take it out?
Let's see here.
It's getting closer. The last 2 weeks have been a little bit more difficult to know. Vegas for sure was as well. It's just there's still a lot of learning left with this car, and in practice, just thinking we were balance wise pretty close, then figuring out as the race kind of unfolded that we were too loose, and I ultimately got the car came around on me. There's a lot of learning left there, but it is hard to kind of get a feel for it with some of the things that we've been fighting. A place like Phoenix, when I tested there, I guess it would have been in January. I actually feel like you could get away with more in this car than what we've ran there the last 2 years on the short tracks. This wider tire definitely acts a little bit different on a short track than it does on some of the higher speed race tracks. So very interesting to see, what that's like in a lot more traffic, a lot more dirty air in full on race scenarios versus what we were experiencing during the tests. So the car's definitely different. We figured out, everyone's seen that already. Race is different, but I feel like we've been able to race pretty hard. It's been kind of nice having a car that, in my opinion, doesn't get its arrow loose when you're on someone's door. There's a lot of things different about it. It's been fun learning some of the characteristics early.
You think it's fair to say it suits your style?
I don't know, actually. I like having the car hung out, and you can't really have this car hung out at all anymore. So I don't know. I mean,
That hook out, right? HOOK. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble understanding.
yeah, I'm sorry, I can't get
No. I apologize, but you said hook out, correct?
hung out, like sideways hung out. Yeah.
Oh, hung out or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. Geez, my audio must be really, really bad.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that in combination with my hearing, but thank you for clarifying that, dear.
All right, our next question will come from Kyle Dalton. Go ahead, Kyle.
Hey, Tyler. So, just kind of following up on Lee's question and just a sense of, you get this sense around the fans and just everything that's going on that the next gen car has kind of changed the game. And I'm just curious in the garage and the drivers, if it's lived up to expectations. I mean, you just talked about being hung out and it seems like there are a lot of variables. You guys are really struggling, which is what the fans want to see. You guys spinning, all these different things that are happening. So do you feel like it's lived up to expectations coming in?
I do. It's definitely more difficult to drive. There's so much that's changed with the car. You really can't rely on your old senses or marks. For me, it has. It's been a lot of fun. I really do like the things that are different about this car. As we expected with it, you're going to have more difficult days than others. But I feel like everyone's ceiling is, or what their maximum potential is, or where their starting point is. With this car, it's kind of brought together. So, throughout the field, more people have more opportunities to hit it right and be able to run up with the best of the best at the front of the field. But at the same time, if you miss it really bad, you're going to have a really tough day. So there's a lot to learn, and we're going to continue to learn with this car.
Thanks. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go back to Lee Spencer for another question.
Sorry, I'm good, Samantha. I didn't take down my hand.
Oh, no worries. You're fine.
Thank
Any
you.
Any additional questions for Tyler before we let him go? All right. Well, Tyler, thank you again for spending some time with us, and good luck this weekend at Phoenix.
Thank you. No, sorry. Couldn't get this.
It's all good. Thank you for trying. We appreciate it.
It was working for a while, and I something.
No worries. We appreciate you trying.